What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here. And I've been thinking a lot about this. In fact, I was talking to Wrestling for Fans last night about this. This whole Ric Flair and the man situation where he trademarked it and everything. This is so ridiculous. I mean, I understand where Ric Flair's coming from. He just wants to take care of his family. But correct me if I'm wrong here. His entire thing was to be the man, you gotta beat the man. He was known as the man ever since 1981, I think. So does Ric Flair deserve a royalty check? Yes. I don't think this needs to go to court. I think this can be settled out of court. But the only way that's going to happen is if Vinnie Mac offers Rick a royalty check. And even if Vince does offer a royalty check to Rick, there's no guarantee that he'll accept it. You know, I don't have a problem with Ric Flair being called the man, because he has done pretty much everything in the professional wrestling industry. The only thing he hasn't really done is be relevant for, I'll say, the last several years. I mean, yes, he was the reason for Batista and Triple H's WrestleMania match, but that he wasn't relevant. Now, the title that they made for him was good, but, and I got to think more about this last night, and I agree with Wrestling for Fans on this. I don't think Rick cares about the money. I think it has more to do that he feels like he's being looked over. And it was like I was telling Wrestling for Fans last night over the phone. Becky Lynch is no Ric Flair. There's only one Ric Flair, and that's Ric Flair. There's only one styling and profiling. But, you know, I did not realize this. But, when Rick was married, his, his, his wife, Beth, not only divorced him, but the reason why she divorced him was because he was never home. Not only that, she took everything Rick had. That sounds just like Linda Hogan and Hulk Hogan. Because Hulk came home one day. His house was there was no one in his house. No dogs, no wife, no kids. And the only reason why Hulk Hogan is worth as much money as he is right now is because he won a lot of money from the Gawker lawsuit. But do I think this will ever go to court? I don't think so. Because here's the thing. Ric Flair has a trademark on it. He filed it 3 weeks ago. So we should be hearing something within the next couple of days or maybe another week. But the only way this goes to court is if Rick has a legitimate claim. If he gets his trademark, he does have a legitimate claim. If he doesn't have a legitimate claim. Now, the only thing that Vince could do if this goes all the way to court, which I don't think it will. And I'm hoping that this will just be swept under the rug because there's no reason for it. I mean, yeah. Becky Lynch, the man. Ric Flair, the man. Who cares on who uses the man? Here's the thing, Ric Flair hasn't been the man ever since he retired in 2012. And, you know, whether he's still wrestling or not, he's still the man. I mean, Ric Flair's entire gimmick centered around the man. Becky Lynch's entire gimmick revolves around the man, but you know, now that I'm thinking about this, and now that I'm finally making my thoughts known about this, Rick is 70 years old. All he wants to do is take care of his family. So, okay. The only thing that could save Vince McMahon right now is if Rick filed the trademark under the NWA banner. because I know what Wrestling for Fans is going to say, that the NWA is owned by Billy Corgan, but that's not entirely true. Because Vince McMahon and the WWE have a 50% stake in ownership of the NWA. So that means that Vince McMahon could activate his 50% ownership stake in the NWA at any time that he wants to. Do I think that Vince is going to? No. But do I think for one moment that Ric Flair has a legitimate gripe? Yes. Do I think that Ric Flair is one of the best in the business? Yes. Do I agree with this lawsuit? No. I don't agree with it. Because here's the thing. From my understanding, Rick talked to WWE lawyers, and they brushed him off. Rick talked to Triple H and said, look, if you guys don't give me a royalty check, I am going to take you to court, and I'm going to sue you for everything that you guys are worth. Rick is making a mountain out of a molehill. I mean, this is not the first time we've seen somebody get mad over a gimmick. When Harley Race was crowned King of the Ring, he went by King Harley Race. That did not sit well with Jerry the King Lawler. So he sued WWE over the rights of the King, in which Jerry won. But, you know, Rick's not the first one to use the Nature Boy. Let's go all the way back to the first Nature Boy, and that was Nature Boy Buddy Roberts. Then it was Nature Boy Ric Flair. Then it was Nature Boy Buddy Landau, or Terry Landau, or this isn't anything new is what I'm getting at. I mean, if you ask me, professional wrestlers shouldn't get married. And Beth, your reason for divorcing Rick was completely ridiculous. He's never home. You know what profession he was in when you married him. So did Linda. I mean, Linda was on the road with Hulk and everything. And it's like, yeah. I'm not saying professional wrestlers don't get married, but But here's the thing, professional wrestling isn't a 9 to 5 job. It's a lifestyle. You make sacrifices. You make sacrifices because when your kids are taking the first steps, you're not there to see it. When it's this is ridiculous. Because yes, Ric Flair's just trying to take care of his family. But you know what? I am going to upload this video. I mean, Vince could write Rick a check and Rick would not be happy with the Rick would not be happy with, let's say that Vince wrote Flair a check for $1,000 in royalty. Rick would not be happy with that. I mean, it's like Rick. No, it's like if somebody came in and used the Brahma Bull's name. First off, that would never happen because you know The Rock would not allow it. It's like if Stone Cold, let's say Roman. Okay, let's say Roman Reigns starts using Stone Cold Roman Reigns. You know, Stone Cold Steve Austin sees it, hears it, reads it. He's going to probably be one mad rattlesnake. But if wrestling has gotten to this point where no one else can use something, and I don't even think that, now that I think about it, WWE did not give Becky Lynch the man. It's just something she said, and it's something WWE ran with. Ric Flair gave himself the man. But even Becky Lynch is doing things with the man that Ric Flair couldn't even do with the man in his prime. There is no sense on why this should be happening right now. I mean, let's take Charlotte. If Charlotte was to come out with the man instead of the queen, I can almost guarantee you that Rick would not have a problem with it. But because Becky Lynch is using the man, and because Ric Flair thinks he should get paid and thinks he should be relevant again, Rick is making such a big deal out of nothing, is my point. He may have been the man in the NWA. He may have been a 16-time world champion in WCW. His entire career spanned spanned it almost 4 decades, I think. And he was known as the man even in 2012. But this is not 2012, this is 2019. And Rick has filed his trademark for wrestling purposes only. That means if WWE does not give Rick a royalty check, WWE could force Becky to drop the name. Becky could WWE would have to force Becky to drop the man entirely. But it's not. But here's the thing, Becky Lynch is not impactful. You think about what she's done. She's won the Men's Royal Rumble. She's main evented along with Charlotte and along with Ronda Rousey a WrestleMania for the first time ever.
Okay, Brad, please don't tell Mom and Dad.
Who did it?
I think Becky Lynch deserves to keep the man.
You're not gonna tell me, alright?
But
Okay.
that's just my opinion.
You alright?
Wrestling for fans, I know we're going to disagree on this. But I would love your opinion anyway. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And let's meet that 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm Hardcore Christopher.
I call his house. Father told me that he was in the garage helping his father.
And at 40 subscribers, I will be doing a Q&A video. You can send your Q&A questions to
I don't even like that guy.
ChristopherBox25@gmail.com. And don't forget to go show Wrestling for Fans, Anton Masters, and Spooky Rebel Cat some love. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.